What is up, IACL fans out there? Welcome back to another video of mine. I'm Mr. Josh, and I'll be bringing you my week 4, season 4 match versus Kingsicle for the IACL, of course. And if you watched my videos yesterday, then you'll see that I'm posting all these videos pretty rapidly just so I can catch up. We are currently in week 6 actually, but we just finished week 5, so I get to consider we're at the very beginning of week 6, so I'm already catching up slowly but surely. So as you can see the first 3 Pokemon on my team, and something to go over. I made a couple of drops and trades. I dropped the garbage koala for Hitmonlee. Then I dropped Dugtrio for Crocodile. I dropped Dugtrio for Crocodile mainly because I felt like it'd be better overall to have a Pokemon that's more reliable for Stealth Rocks. Not saying Dugtrio is bad for Stealth Rocks, but I prefer to just have a certain move set for it. And most of the time, I feel like Stealth Rock isn't really the best. And while Crocodile serves as a wall and a potential sweeper with Scarf Moxie and such. I mean, with the introduction of Z moves, it could be really decent with moves such as like Z Thunderfang or Z like Outrage, so you don't have to lock yourself in an Outrage to kill a dragon, like something like that. But anyways, let's just go over what I brought real quick. If you don't know my team, I'll go over it really quick, and then I'll go over his team, which in my opinion he has the best team in the entire league in terms of synergy and offense. But yeah, my team is Jirachi, Toxapex, Tango, Zapdos, Salazzle, Crocodile, Hitmonlee, Haxorus, Lone Ninetales, and Rampardos. And spoilers, one of my 2 new Pokemon are going to be debuting this week, so that's awesome. Anyways, let's go over King and his amazing team that he was able to draft up. It consists of Tornadus T, Victini, Sylveon, Mega Blastoise, Hydreigon, Excadrill, Rotomow, Garbodor, Rhydon, and Walrein. And so far, he has brought Garbodor, Rhydon, and Walrein to at least 1 game so far this season. Garbodor has actually shut up to about half. And not gonna lie, Garbodor has a pretty decent matchup versus me, so it could be expected since it does stop Hitmonlee reasonably well, and it does stop Tangrowth for the most part, unless I run Earthquake. But even then, the threat of Gunk Shot is just really there, I guess. And it can absorb Toxic Spikes from Toxapex as well, potentially, so it serves as good utility. But anyways, I kind of don't expect it. Let's just move on. But if I look over his team, Victini definitely just kind of destroys me because it destroys my Wall Core. Since Toxapex is the good old Psychic typing, Poison typing, meaning it's weak to Psychic, and that's not good. Then obviously Tangrowth is just going to get blown away by a Blue Flare, so I definitely expect a special set this week if he does bring it. And then he could bring like Tornadus as a pivot because it outspeeds a lot of my team. Sylveon could be good for passing wishes, but it really doesn't have the best matchup in the world. Mega Blastoise is good for spinning, obviously, just to support the Victini, which I expect to come. And Hydreigon, it could be good for potentially nuking something, but it doesn't outspeed Jirachi, and I can flinch it down, obviously, because you can see I have Ironhead and T-Wave, and I'll explain why. Next, Driller, in my opinion, is a better spinner this week than Blastoise, but they can both get the job done potentially. There's, of course, Rotomow. I expect it to be Scarf because I did 1 mock match because I was really unsure about my team because I didn't build it too fast, but it really didn't take too long, so I was kind of worried. So I got my friend Mike to give me a mock, and I did beat him rather easily. That's because he just ran the standard Smogon spread. He didn't really speed creep or anything like that, so the damage output was kind of different, but the team structure overall made sense. And then, of course, just Garbodor, Rhydon, and Walrein. Don't expect much of either of those, but, we'll see what happens. Anyway, my first Pokemon is the Jirachi. Jirachi this week running just max speed to speed tie Victini, and then max special attack. You may be wondering why max special attack. But it's because I want Hard Stamp to do a good amount of damage, and I also want Grass Knot to do a lot because it hits Blastoise really hard. And I thought I would be able to hit Blastoise for a decent amount of damage. And I do eat 1 Dark Pulse, so I could always just rely on that. And plus, I just really want that damage because I could potentially flinch him down with Heart Stamp and then kill him with Grass Knot, and that'd be really cool. And then the T-Wave is because if there's any way I can cripple a Victini, even though T-Wave did get nerfed, I can still incredibly make it. I can hurt it incredibly by just T-Waving it because its speed will be halved, obviously, and pretty much my whole team will be able to outspeed it, and that's fantastic. Then that's pretty much it. It's pretty much there to be annoying. Akaberry, of course, I can eat a fire move from Victini, no matter what it is, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless he's like Banded V Create, but I don't expect Banded for one. And if he has Banded V Create, then touche. Next Pokemon is my Zapdos. It's Spadef this week because for one, it eats a move from Victini reasonably well, but if you just like Life Orb, Max Special Attack, Blue Flare, it's going to take it only most likely. But it's mainly there for Torn because Torn really cannot touch Zapdos if I'm Spadef. Like I was like trying to think about what he could potentially do, and the worst thing he could do would be like Toxic Beam to knock off my lefties and then whittle me down with Hurricane. But even then with Roost, it really is incredibly hard for Torn to do anything. And I'm running T-Bolt, Heat Wave, Roost, U-Turn. It's a 3-move wall this week, which is pretty interesting, but I didn't see the need for Toxic overall. It could have been nice, but I didn't really see why it'd be good. And I'm running Heat Wave because it hits Exegeo for a decent amount of damage, and I do want to go over my spread, but I don't want to reveal the last of the Pokemon, so I'll go over that later on. But it's really interesting. And then basically it's basically there to stop Exegeo for the most part because sure Rock Slide will do a lot, but yeah, it'll most likely be slower than me, faster than me, so I'd be able to roost it off, and he would never be able to catch me with Earthquake since I am slower than him. And I'll explain why later on, and then I could just hit him with a Heat Wave if I want to. Worst case scenario would be if he flinches me with Rock Slide. If that's the case, then I'll have to play around it. It's fine. But I don't really expect more. I expect more of a bulky Exegeo this week, so it's fine. Next Pokemon is my Alolan Ninetales. Bringing choice specs this week, which is really interesting, and you might be wondering why. Well, let me explain something. If he brings offensive Victini, and I get rocks up on the field, it will be taking rocks plus Blizzard plus Hail, and when everything is said and done, it's gonna pretty much be almost dead to the next Blizzard. It'll be at around 40%, maybe, depends on the spread, and that's really really amazing. It's really really good, and honestly, it was just a must bring. So I was like, okay, let's just slap Blizzard and 3 filler moves. Freeze Dry because it hits Pokemon such as Mega Blastoise really hard, which otherwise easily comes on into his specs Ninetales. So I was like, okay, let's just run the Freeze Dry. Plus, it's a safe move for the most part. It's everything for neutral or super effective except the Victini. Dark Pulse because it hits Victini really hard. If I just know it's coming in, I can just bop it with Dark Pulse into it, KO it. And then Moonblast is it just in case Hail runs out. I was thinking about Ice Beam or Moonblast, but I was like, if Hail would have run out, Moonblast would be a better move to lock myself in. So I was like, okay, let's just go with that. And I'm just running outspeed to outspeed and max speed base 100, and then just max special attack and the rest into bulk. It looks really fancy, but trust me, it's really not. Just automatic HP and then 4 to each defense because you never know. Anyways, my next Pokemon is Detangrowth, Lose, Nudes, and I'm bringing a Max Bedef set with no AV because I was looking at the team and I was like, Elite C is really, really good. No, so I was like, okay, let's just bring a Max Bedef set but not run AV because I didn't like the AV move set. I felt like the set for a wall was a lot better. Even though I'm running 3 moves, Elite C was just too good versus his team because I can go for Lead Seed on Excadrill, I can go for Lead Seed on the Garbodor if I really want to, and I can just Sludge Bomb stuff like Rotomo, knock off stuff like Victini. The Giga Drain's good for recovery, and of course with Sludge Bomb I always have the 30% poison because of course it's pretty much like Scald. It's really exactly like Scald. It's both base 80, and they both have a 30% chance to get status. So really no difference except Scald's obviously more crippling. But anyways, that's just pretty much Tangrowth. It's just there to be a wall, potentially get some Leech Seed damage of. Next is Hitmonlee, one of the 2 new Pokemon making its debut. Ling Jing Li, of course, bringing the Scarf set because it's really good. Something to note, I actually I forgot to speed creep my spread, so I'm just max speed, max attack. So that's fun, but Really, I should have just ran enough speed to outspeed a scarf, whatever, or just a max speed, whatever, and put a lot into bulk. But it's fine. And you'll see it really didn't matter. But yeah, this is my spinner this week because as you can see, Zapdos didn't have the fog, and with Ninetales on the field, I want to make sure rocks never get up. So look at his team. His two rockers are, of course, the Excadrill and the Rhydon, and I believe that that's it. So I can pressure Rhydon easily with little Ninetales, and Ling Ching Li really deals with Excadrill really well. It doesn't Oko Rhydon, but obviously it'll just Oko Excadrill to another dimension. And my next Pokemon will actually be able to handle Excadrill as well, as you'll see. And it's pretty much Ling Ching Li. If I can get if it keeps rocks away, that'd be great. I jump kick because stab reckless jump kick is just gonna just destroy anything that doesn't resist, which is why I'm thinking he would bring Garbodor because it does do that really well. Because it's not like Torn's gonna come in and take it well at all. And then Stone Edge, just in case I do want to hit the Torn or the Sylveon. I mean not Sylveon, Victini, because obviously both of those resist HJK. So I'm like, okay, let's just run that and knock out for utility. Plus it will hit hard still because Hitmonlee is a good attack stat. And since I'm going to reveal the last Pokemon, you can see right there that Alpacasaurus, after having a really unsuccessful debut, we're bringing it again for and you'll see why. And yeah, just base 120 max will just hit like a truck. But yeah, the last Pokemon is Alpacasaurus, the lead Rampardos. With this Surf, it's pretty much the same exact spread as the Smogon recommended. I'm running max speed because I don't know what his spread will be on Mega Blastoise. He might not run enough speed to outspeed the spread, so I might be able to outspeed it. So I was like, let's just go with that. It's not like I'm going to eat a hit anyways, and I'm Focus Sash. So it really does not matter. Running the Rock Superpower, Head Smash and Surf for Rhydon, and just Stealth Rock for getting rocks up because it's really good versus team. And you may be running Wyom's Superpower considering it really only hits Excadrill, but that's the reason why. If he brings like an air balloon set, my Rampardos actually cannot touch it. And the thing is, versus Mike, he actually brought an air balloon Excadrill versus me, and I was like, if that's a set he can bring, then this is the best set overall. So it's like, okay, let's just rock with this. Of course, max attack. I'm just gonna hit like a motherfucking truck if they don't resist. And if I get rocks up and I can keep them up there, while I keep them away with Ling Ching Li, that would be fantastic. And overall, that's just a team. The point of this team is to just whittle things down for little Ninetales to get some huge hits off, along with Ling Ching Li, and just T-Wave them at Victini. By T-Wave Victini, then it's pretty much a lot easier from there. So yeah, that's the team builder. Sorry for going off for so long, but this is I really went deep into the depth of this team and what each Pokemon can do. And I felt really proud after building, but of course I have to try to beat Game with the team. So we'll see what happens. So I'll pause real quick and I'll hop into the match. So we'll be right back. And the bada bing, bada boom, we are back. And as you can see, he didn't bring any way of hazard removal. So I'm like, oh, cool. I could just lead it with Rampardos and Rocks. So that's fun. So yeah, my safest lead is just Rampardos. I'm Sash. So like, I'm pretty much guaranteed to keep my rocks up for the rest of the game. So I'm starting to hear my dogs in the background. They can be quite loud with their collars and such. So yeah, let's put this on normal speed as he leads straight with holla holla. I know when out. Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna click rocks. I was expecting U-turn because even if I'm Scarf, he outspeeds me unless he's like not that speed invested. If that's the case, then that's cool. Anyways, he goes straight into this thing as I click Surf. If he was Spadef, that would have done a lot less. So I know he's like just max HP, probably max attack. As I get the crit Rock Blast, as that sucks, but he doesn't kill me. It's not like HP really matters on this Pokemon, so it's fine. And this is a really quick match, so I'm going to try to explain as much as I can in the time being. And now, I was thinking maybe he would want to switch into Victini to try to preserve its HP so he can have somewhat of a decent Blizzard switch in, because looking at his team, like, it just doesn't exist. He didn't bring Blast, and actually Mike brought Walrein versus me because it's a really, really great offensive Ninetales answer. So I was thinking maybe he would bring that versus me, but he didn't. So he really doesn't need to lose HP on this thing. So I was thinking, okay, maybe he'll just go into High Dragon to finish me off. But no, he just goes straight into the Victini, and he'll just kill me off with like any move. I'm going to die to even a resisted fire move because it's a Victini and this is a Rampardos and I'm at 25%. As he goes for Side Shock and I find out he's Life Orb, So now I'm gonna go into the Orlando Yellow Magic. I don't care how obvious this is. I didn't want to go into the Ninetales to click Dark Pulse because like I said, I didn't want High Dragon coming in and then him having a free hit. I didn't find that favorable, but I could have done that. Really, I definitely actually could have. But oh well, it's fine. I'm just gonna click T Wave. Worst case scenario goes into the Rotom, and worst case scenario goes into the Rotom, and I just don't get a paralysis off as he actually does. Just go straight into the Rotom because I guess it was obvious. I guess he just knew I wasn't Scarf. As now I'm gonna click Hard Stamp so I can scout for the damage because I outspeed unless he's also Scarf. And yeah, I flinch him and I don't see any leftovers, which is interesting. So now I'm just gonna go into the Ninetales because I'm expecting the status because it makes sense. As he goes for Will-O-Wisp, so that's a really good play by me. So now pretty much something's gonna die to the Specs Blizzard. He has no switch-ins. Hey, so he's just gonna sack Hydreigon, which is really interesting. But looking at my team, I guess it really didn't serve too much purpose since Zapdos pressure stalled it out of probably Dark Pulse and Draco. Obviously, he would only have 4 versus me. So yeah, it makes sense. So now he's gonna go into Garbodor. So I'm expecting Gunk Shot, right? Because that's just gonna Oko my ass. So I'm like, okay, let's just go into lose nudes and because I don't know, it wasn't really having the best matchup overall. But he goes for Body Slam. So I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, so at this point, I know he's probably not gonna click Gunk Shot here. He's gonna probably click Spikes. And also, he didn't have a nickname for his Garbodor. And normally, every time he's brought it, which has been 2, not 3 times, it's had a nickname for Flame. It was what was it? It was Steinsgate or something like that. And then for week 1, I believe it was like your team or it was a Hunter's team, yeah. And this time it was supposed to be Komala because the running trend is that Komala is an absolute piece of garbage because that's what it is. And he decided to keep that pattern versus me. I find that pretty funny. He's going to be taking Hail plus Leech Seed, so if I had to guess, he was probably Rocky Helmet. I haven't touched him, so I don't know. So yeah, now he switches into the Rotom as I double myself into my Zappy Bird because it was looking like Zapdos was the safe play overall because if his only move is Body Slam, he honestly can't parry me. As now I go for U-turn. I could have gone for Heat Wave, but I thought he would switch honestly. So now I'm gonna go into the Ninetales, just expecting to take a Volt Switch, but he actually goes straight for Toxic. So I'm like, that looks like a really good play now. So I was like, okay, that's awesome. And now I'm just gonna fire off another Blizzard, and something is going to die. Originally, Garbodor was not gonna die to a Blizzard, which is why I didn't click it the first time. Now he's 100% in range of Blizzard. So yeah, he's just gonna sack that. So now his only play is to pretty much go into the Torn and just hit me with a Hurricane. As for some reason here, I sacked Tangrowth because, like I said, it didn't have the best matchup overall. Look at the rest of his team. I could have gone to Zapdos, but I didn't want to risk a confusion or just him, like, I don't know, U-turning and then him getting the advantage. But I could have probably saved differential by not sacking Tangrowth there because right now the game's obviously looking really good in my favor. So I could have looked at it that way, but I was just trying to play safe as he just goes for knockoff as I fire off a T-Bolt because everything was gonna die. Whoa, Victini might have lived, but pretty much everything was dying to T-Bolt. As yeah, Torrent's gonna die, and yeah, as you see, knockoff I actually did a decent amount, so which is why I didn't want to. I want to save my HP a little bit. As he just goes in the, he makes a really weird play. And he goes straight in the Rotom. I guess Victini didn't kill me with any move, and I don't know. It was kind of weird. If you wanted a Victini, Zapdos pretty much just got 3 kills, but instead it's going to be Zapdos picking up 2 kills and then Ninetales picking up the last kill with the Dark Pulse. So that's going to be a good game to King. A very 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 fast game. 17 turns. It really did not take that long at all. And obviously the MVP goes to Ninetales, just putting on so much offensive pressure and him not bringing his ice resist. I mean, Victini's an ice resist, but once Rox got up in the field and once he took a tick of life orb, it really was not a check anymore. And yeah, I know it was a really good game. I knew Specs Ninetales would pull through if he didn't bring his right checks, and as expected, it worked. So just like that, we're back to .500 in terms of record, 2-2, as that's really really good. But the tough matchups just keep coming back. As first I had to play Mike, then I had to play King, and now I play Brian, which is really tough. Our matches are always very tough for the most part, and I think he has the record over me, but not by much. And he has a very interesting team. It's I wouldn't say bad, but it's really really awkward looking. But he's made good work of it. He beat Jared, who is known for having a very, very broken team. Honestly, he probably has the best draft overall, but in my opinion, Kings is just better in terms of synergy. He just has a whole bunch of broken uber legendaries. As yeah, he has Landers, I, Hoopa, U, Entei, Koba. Yeah, it's just broken stuff. And then we have the rule where you don't have to mega with Sharpedo. We did it for people to draft Sharpedo, but ever since day one, I've been really against that rule. And people decided to be fucking stupid. And they decided, I mean, not calling them stupid, but it's a really dumb rule to allow a Pokemon of that caliber to be able to have that much power. It really is just unfair for the most part. But whatever, that's just me being a politician right now and just showing my opinion. But it's fine. And yeah, we play Brian, our good old buddy, old pal, and he won season 2, and I won. So far, there's only been 2 champions out of the 3 complete seasons we've had. I was the winner of 2 of them, and Brian was the winner of season 2. So yeah, we'll see if we can make it 2 champions still, and hopefully I win season 4. That'd be the ideal goal, but there's a lot of tough battlers, and there's a lot of good teams out there, and there's a lot of good minds. So it's really hard to think about. And yeah, that's it for me, and that'll probably be me for today. And not much more to say besides the fact that there's this one girl in my physics class that has the most scrumptious, juiciest ass I've ever seen. But yeah, that's not the point. That's for a future story for the Skype call. But anyways, au revoir and peace.